Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the main card of UFC 190. Of course, the main card of UFC 190 has 7 fights on it. 2 come from the Ultimate Fighter Brazil. I don't feel like I have a good handle on these fights, so I'm not going to bet them. But Nick Kalikas has open lines for them. He comes to us from MMAOddsbreaker.com, and James Lynch is joining us. He's also from MMAOddsbreaker.com, an MMA analyst, and he has done his research and can give us some tips on possible betting value if we want to bet this fight. We're going to start with Vieira and Lopes. James Lynch, what's your take on this fight? Right now, Lopes is a significant favorite at -320.
Yeah, and I can see the hype behind it. You know, he's the younger fighter in this one. He's defeated Bruno Silva, Matis Nicolau to make it to the final. You know, and he's on a 5-fight win streak. That's the thing I like here. He's got some momentum. You know, even going into the show and coming out of the show too. Vieira, very good fighter as well. You know, the jungle fight veteran. I believe he fought for the title for them too. So he's on a 2-fight win streak. But the one thing I look at here is 2 of his 3 losses are to UFC veterans. He lost to Hani Jason and to Pedro Munoz. So, you know, that to me says that this is a guy who's been around a lot, but he can't get to that next level. To me, Lopes is on the come up. You just look at his record here: 18-1, 4 knockouts, 12 submissions. I like that in this fighter here, and I think Lopes should win this fight. He is the younger fighter, and I think he does everything just a little bit better than his opponent.
Nick Kalikas, usually with UFC main card fights, it's dog or pass. Here, these are Brazilian fighters coming from Ultimate Fighter Brazil. Is this a dog or pass situation, or is it a different dynamic with these kinds of fights?
It is not a dog or pass situation, and it all depends. I mean, every fight's a little bit different, so I don't want to say if it's a different dynamic for those type of fights, but in this fight, it is a different dynamic for sure. I agree with what James said. I mean, both of them are talented, both of them are really similar, but I do think that Lopes just has a clear edge across the board. I think Lopes is going to be the more consistent striker. He's just going to be more steady with his attack. I think he's going to actually be the one to take this fight to the ground. Both of them have decent wrestling and decent takedowns, but the problem is, I think Vieira ends up making more mistakes and with his aggression at times. I mean, it's kind of spotty aggression, but when he does decide to get aggressive, he leaves himself open for takedowns. So I do think it's Lopes' fight to win or lose. I think he can win on the cards. I think if there's going to be a finish in this fight, it's probably Lopes finishing this fight as well. But it's probably going to be competitive. It'll go back and forth a little bit, but I think you'll see the clear edge kind of going toward the favorite. So it's a favorite or pass situation here.
Okay, sounds good to me. Lopes at -320. And is this fight getting a lot of action? Is it going to be a big decision for the books, or is it lower than the other fights on the main card?
It's definitely not going to get as much action,
right.
You know, because a lot of people are not going to do their homework, and they're going to be a little bit too lazy to kind of study up on this, honestly. So I think we're not going to see as much action in this.
Lopes at -320 it is, though. Thanks, guys.